Greater Sydney has been locked out of the regions for 2 weeks and school holiday plans quashed as the city battles a COVID-19 outbreak. Regional communities continue to suffer from border closures and COVID-19 outbreaks in the cities. Farmers are battling with less traffic and skilled labour shortages. Farmer Sam Heagney joins me live now. Sam, thanks for your time this Saturday night. Since we last spoke, we've seen Greater Sydney enter a lockdown right when the school holidays were about to start, and Sydney-siders had holidays booked. Now, on the ground near Moree, how did this impact local businesses?
Tourism's, as in your previous story, tourism's taken a really big hit right across regional New South Wales as a result of the lockdown. At a time when people couldn't travel overseas, we're seeing a real surge in people travelling within their own country and seeing regional New South Wales. And then right on school holiday time, when everyone was probably planning a trip, they announced a lockdown, and it means a pretty big hit to a lot of those businesses that rely on that, which is a real shame.
Now, one of the worst issues to impact farmers this year has been the mouse plague. How's it going following recent rain?
Rain and really cold temperature, which I'm sure everyone's experienced. It's having a good impact on numbers, as in bringing mice numbers down. I can't speak for the whole state, but certainly here at home, we've seen a bit of a reduction, which is nice to see. They're still around, and as when we last spoke, our concern is in spring when it starts to warm up. We're just worried about whether those mice numbers rebuild again, and that's when they'll really start doing damage to our crops. So that's our concern, and that's what we're keeping an eye on. But at the moment, it's nice to have a bit of a reprieve from some of those horrible images you're showing there.
Now, Sam, has there been any more funding from state or federal governments?
Certainly not that I'm aware of. Unfortunately, the APVMA denied access to bromar, I'm going to mispronounce it now, bromadiolone, chemical which the government had imported to use on mice, and fully respect the APVMA's decision on that. However, it just makes it a bit tough. If those numbers do build up and we need control measures, it's potentially going to be very difficult to get those controls out in spring when they're really needed.
Now let's switch focus, Sam. How are things going with the skilled labour shortages? I'm imagining this issue is going to continue for a while.
Yeah, it certainly is. And with halving of the number or the cap in international arrivals into Australia, it certainly hasn't made it any better. We really do, regional Australia I'm talking about, really does rely on international tourists and travellers working in the regions. And I just want to be clear, I'm not just talking about backpackers picking fruit with all sorts of skilled labour. So we're really feeling the pinch, and there is definitely a shortage in skilled labour coming into the country and coming into regional areas, and that's definitely having an impact on agriculture at the moment. So it's very tough, and we're working on some novel means or novel sources for labour that we're not normally accustomed to, and that includes grey nomads, gap year students that can't travel overseas, or tertiary students who can't reduce to studying online, and they're coming out and doing a bit of time in the regions, and it's been really good. We're getting some really good results out of those sorts of approaches.
Now, the state budget was strong on regional communities, Sam, but light on agriculture sector growth. What are your thoughts on this?
Without specific details, agriculture and regional Australia is pretty used to budgets that are big on promises and short on actual delivery. We'd love to see some really good infrastructure projects that improve the base things that we all need in regional Australia, so education, connectivity, whether that's physically roads, rail or internet. I'm speaking to you at the moment on an internet service that a group of businesses and farmers in our region had to fund privately to get it up and running, and we built this ourselves because that wasn't there otherwise. So we'd really just love to see some big input and big investment and actually hitting the ground. I noticed in the state budget there's a $10 million project for a water supply project for a town in our region in northwest New South Wales. It's a 300 megalitre dam. I could push up a 300 megalitre dam with a couple of scrapers in a week and it'd cost $100,000. But a $10 million announcement sounds pretty impressive, but we really need that rubber to hit the road. Instead of big announcements, we need actual outcomes in regional Australia.
Now let's talk about the median rainfall that's forecast, Sam. Last chat, I did tell you that it was looking likely that eastern parts of the country, at least 3/4 of it, will have above median rainfall. Have you had any good rain over the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, we certainly have. Farmers don't like to talk about the season being good because at any moment it could turn bad, or other parts of the country aren't doing as well. But certainly for us here right now, it's looking excellent. We had 20 mils of rain 2 nights ago, which was just perfect. But you don't have to go far, and it's a bit too wet. And I really don't like saying that because for so many years it was way too dry. But yeah, it's, some people are definitely getting a bit too wet at the moment. But as I said last time, there's money in mud, so we'll definitely accept it. But it's all about timing. If the rain comes at the right time, we'll be more than happy.
Indeed. Well, hopefully we can get this outbreak under control so visitors can start visiting the regions again, and hopefully we'll get to see some more rain on the way over the next couple of months. Thank you as always, Sam Heagney, joining me live there just near Moree.
No worries. Thanks, Sam.